As we go live, as we go live. No jive, no jive. We is live from the porch. Come on in here, folks. Come on in here. As I wear my beanie. Still too cold here in LA. We've been in the most permanent winter of my life. LA needs its sunshine back. And we need our sunshine. Well, we had some sun today, but LA needs its warm weather back. This shit too goddamn cold. Shit. Fuck what's going on? What's up, Devin? Yeah. How's it going, Devin? Good to see you in the chat room. And I hope to see y'all. What's up, Todd Campbell? Bruce? Yeah, the lake. Are you on the Laker thread? Oh, Devin, you in Chicago, aren't you? What's going on, Mark? What's going on, Mark? Yeah. What's up, Miss D? El Negro Hotep. Oh, yeah. Chicago, Midwest up in this motherfucker. Yeah. Yeah, we gonna talk about some shit today. Come on in here. What's up, y'all? I hope y'all come out. Y'all know I haven't been directing y'all to my website because my favorite shirt, the John Henry Clark shirt, has been down and I ain't been able to sell that motherfucker. But my DwannB.com should be up by the. I was hoping to have it. I hope to have it up by the opening of the museum. But if not, it'll be up real soon after that. My new shop. And so, yeah. I hope y'all coming out to the Hidden History Museum comedy show. Will comedy be a regular at the Hidden History Museum? I don't know. We gonna do it. Put it like this. The comics that I booked on this show, you guys are gonna want it to be a regular when I'm done with this show. Let's just say that. Cause y'all may not know who some of these comics are. Cause they've never been on like any ABC or TV shows or major films. But all of these comics have been on TV doing stand-up. Kamira White. My lineup is my man Reuben Warren. Reuben is a funny than a motherfucker, and he's a hella black first. He's gonna be a great writer one day. Every time I see Reuben, I tell him I can't wait for him to take Kenya Burris out. I got Kamira White coming to the show. You know she gonna rip it like always. I got Precious Hall. So we got both of the On These Hoes podcast, Precious and Kamira, ODH. They gonna both be in the building. And then we got my man Screw. And if you've been around LA, Screw is one of the kings of LA comedy. You know, so it's gonna be dope. Yeah, the Banks. Remember on the show, what's up, Smoke Spitter? Remember, it was on this very show right here, me talking. Y'all remember? Well, y'all don't. A lot of y'all don't be watching my reading shows because a lot of you niggas are still scared of readings. Y'all think me reading playing cards is some spooky shit. So that scared a lot of you Christian niggas listening to me. But in my card reading, I said in the first 7 weeks of the year, I'm sorry, I was wrong. I should this happened in the 10th week of the year. I'm sorry, I was 3 weeks off. But I said it's gonna be major banking crashes and places where people rely on for money is not gonna be here. And mind you, we just at the start of this shit. I told you niggas on my reading show, I said in March. But I did specifically say March. I did say that. So yeah. But yeah, we're gonna have black comedy in the black spot. But let's get on to these bullshit ass Oscars. Full disclosures, I did not watch 1 minute, 1 second, 1 millisecond of the Oscars. I didn't see an Oscars commercial. I didn't see an Oscars pre-show report. I didn't see a red carpet. I didn't see a post. Well, I went to the back. I did watch. I watched about 3 seconds of the Oscars. My man Isaiah Washington, shouts out to Isaiah. Big love to Isaiah Washington. That's my dog right there. Isaiah put up a tweet, and it was a screen recording of the moment Jamie Lee Curtis won an Oscar over Angela Bassett. And let me start off by saying this. I'm separating my feelings towards the Oscars with my feelings as a human being, as a man and as a black man. As a man, we got to understand, man, the reason why when you look at the ancient Egyptian statues, if you notice, they always lead with their left foot. If you go look at the statue of Akhenaten, Ramses II, and all those, they're all leading with their left foot. Why? You lead with your left foot because the left side is where the heart is. And you lead with your heart. And as a man, yes, we are the defense. Yes, we are the rugged and the tough. But it's also our job to be compassionate and to have an open heart space, especially for our women. And that heart, there is no not having an open heart chakra as a man. Your heart chakra has to be open. Going around callous and tough, that's some bullshit. That's not a real thing. It's not to say be soft, be some weirdo, be some nigga that's going around crying all the goddamn time. But you have to have an open heart space. And when I saw Angela Bassett's reaction to not winning, that shit broke my heart. I don't know Angela Bassett. I don't care about at the Oscars. I don't give a fuck about Wakanda, or Black Panther movie, or just on a human level. That's a woman who has worked her ass off of her career, her whole career. As black people, she always represents us right. She always represents us in the proper way. And if I ever met Angela Bassett, I don't want to say I'd bow in her presence because I'm not no extra nigga. I'm not gonna be doing all extra shit. But Angela Bassett, just her energy from what I pick up from her, she's regal. Angela Bassett is royalty. And Angela Bassett will be royalty no matter what she did. If she wasn't an actress, if Angela Bassett worked at the DMV, y'all know we all got that auntie that worked at the courthouse. She wasn't nobody's actress or a singer, but she had we all had that auntie that carried herself a certain way. And she may be a paralegal or work at the courthouse or work at the DMV or the county building. She got a certain energy about her that just makes you feel like, okay, you're in the presence of a queen. We all know that person. And from a distance, Angela Bassett comes out to me like that. To where even if she wasn't an actress, if she was a bus driver, she would be the most regal bus driver there is. Can somebody do me a favor? Tell me Angela Bassett's card. Y'all know where y'all can find Angela Bassett's card? Find it on my new website, breakthroughcards.com. I want y'all to pull up my website, breakthroughcards.com. Moderators, help me out. Cards, like cards, breakthroughcards.com. Tell me what you think about my new website. And if you want a reading, book now, because starting in April, the prices that you see on my website are going to double, okay? I'm not playing, they're doubling, because I'm getting a lot of business right now. So if you want to book a reading for the current price, book it now, because those prices are doubling in April. But I will have a discount for the people who join my Discord. For people who are in my Discord, y'all have discounts. But somebody go to my website right now, breakthroughcards.com, and tell me Angela Bassett's card. I don't know her birthday. Find her birthday, then find her card on my website. I have a card calendar on my website. But until someone finds her card, as a man, it broke my heart to see her react that way. Because she's worked her ass off. And in her career field, the Oscars are the top of the top. And one thing we got to realize, black folks, you know, especially my generation, we're a different generation. Angela Bassett comes from that generation to where, what is she, in her 60s? She's from that generation to where, like, these awards and stuff like that matters. She's been in Hollywood far longer than black America's been conscious. So I get it from her context. But with that being said, this is a lesson for the rest of us. And I think it's not a new lesson. It's a lesson that we've been seeing over and over again. But I think it's a reminder. We can't take their awards, their validation serious. We have to totally, again, it's just my opinion. I'm not telling you what you need to do. But this is my point of view and how I look at it. And the way I see it. And this is a way forward I think that can help all of us. We got to stop giving a fuck about their validation and their awards. Because they play with us. Yep, Devin, I made you a moderator. I made you a moderator, Devin. But, oh, you said she's a 10 of clubs? Okay. See, 10 of clubs, that's the card of the studios. People who are 10 of clubs are great in studios. Music studios, movie studios. They channel. And Lionel Richie's a 10 of clubs. My father, Mr. Carmichael's a 10 of clubs. 10 of clubs people, okay. They're mental. That's a card of mental graduation. It's also the card of stubbornness. 10 of clubs people are very stubborn. Ego-driven oftentimes too, 10 of clubs people. But you said make one what? You said make one. Well, what you want me to make? Shit, I made some ribs the other day on my barbecue grill. Ribs good to the motherfucker. But anyway, what's up, Kurt? So I think for us, the lesson, and for her, it's a lesson for her too, but really more so for us. We can't validate them. They play with us. They play with us. Like the way we act and the way they act, you know that's a game. Angela Bassett has been deserving of an Oscar going back to motherfucking Ike and Tina movie and A Thin Line Between Love and... She should have got an Oscar for A Thin Line. Shit. No, that wasn't. No, that wasn't. That was the other one. I mean, what I said Thin Line. I'm dyslexic. What's that? Stella Got Her Groove Back. I'm over here. I think they came out the same year. But Stella got her groove back. That one. I said A Thin Line. A Thin Line is a movie with Martin Lawrence. And what's her name? The other fine ass old black woman. They both old and fine shit. So, what's up, AW1? So, yeah, Lynn Whitfield. Yeah, Lynn Whitfield. Hell, shit. She did deserve an Oscar, too, for that. Lynn Whitfield fine than a motherfucker. And Angela Bassett. So, truth is, but it's like a joke to them. It's a running joke. And let me tell you, and let me tell you why. Hey, James Hathaway, hey, bruh. I'm not gonna argue with you right there. James said, I'm convinced Lynn Whitfield is crazy in real life. Yeah, she played that role so goddamn well. And y'all remember the episode of Martin when Lynn Whitfield was on? When she was playing Martin's girlfriend, and that was like right around the same time the movie dropped. Yeah. But, Angela, I think for us, we got to just know that those awards, that's how they validate one another, okay? And let me tell you why I'm not even mad at white people. Because at the end of the day, they created it. And you're going to take care of home first. If you create the awards, you're going to reward your people first. And that's just fine with me. Let me tell you another reason why I'm not mad. What's up, George Richard? I'm tell you another reason I'm not mad at white folks, and I'm gonna tell you another reason why it is what it is when it comes to the award show. Think about us black people. We may not know who we are, but they do. When I say they, I mean those people in charge of running societies. They do understand who we are. Even though we don't, in large part. A lot of us in this chat room do. There's more black people every day waking up as to who we are. But truth be told, as of now, the majority of us don't know who the fuck we are. So at the same time, we produce these great things. Like, look at what look at how much money Angela Bassett just made Disney with Wakanda. Angela Bassett is box office. When she's in a film, especially when she's leading a film, people are coming to watch Angela Bassett. Black people, we're Kobe Bryant, we're Michael Jackson, we're Michael Jordan, we're Bo Jackson, we're Count Basie, we're Nas. We're the people who create. We're George Washington Carver. We're Granville T. Woods. We're the inventors of the sciences and the people who built this nation, not only with our labor, but with our genius. We're great warriors. If I'm a society that can get these warriors that do all these great things to not see itself and need me. And I'm a white person. I'm not white person. I'm white society. I'm European society. European society, teeth crooked, ain't invented shit, can't dance, can't create nothing for nothing. If I can get you powerful people to cry and act like hoes and bitches because my weak ass that ain't never invented a thing outside of the patent office, and you need my approval, I'm gonna play games with your monkey ass too. And that's just real. I'm a joke. I'm not even mad at white folk, at white society, the dominant society. I'm not even mad at them. Cause like they like a good. We all like a good joke, don't we? It's human to like a good joke. So if you can get these powerful people with all this going for them and they don't know it, and they need they need your approval, and you smell like cat pussy, ain't take a shower twice a week, if that. Don't even use a washcloth when you take a shower where you just splash some soap on you, wash your hair and get out. And you need my approval for you to feel good? All right. I mean, let's just be real. Let's just be real. Let's just be real. Wouldn't you? I would. You mean these niggas that invented everything? They could dance, they could sing, and they crying because my bucktooth ass won't give them approval and validation? You suckers. That's why white supremacy doesn't anger me. I understand it. I understand the problem. So within my understanding, it doesn't anger me. It makes me strategic. And it makes me to where I don't get to the point to hate people. I don't hate anybody. I don't even have it. I still got white folks I'm cool with. And I deal with people who I think are white supremacists all the time. I don't care if you're a white supremacist if it's business. If you offer something that can teach me something that's going to make me better at what I do, I don't care that you're a white supremacist. I really don't. Because what does that mean to me? Nothing. The laws of the universe still apply, even in the system of white supremacy. Can't no man open a door for you. Can't no man shut a door for you. What's for you is for you. God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, your higher self, Buddha, Jesus, I don't give a fuck what religion. If you got a plan and got a path, and you move forward in life, a way will be made for you. So that's why I don't believe in shutting my mouth and being scared of people. and not saying shit. Because what's for me is for me. And what's not is not. You dig? What's up, Pretty Tony TV? What's up, Quan? What's up, Damn? You say you was blocked. What's up, Jay? Eddie, look. I don't even need white people to acknowledge my struggle. And I hear where you're coming from. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just offering my point of view on that. I don't need white people to acknowledge my struggle. I need white people to go back to white society and check their people. And I need white people that are around me to tell me what white people say when I'm not around. And I need white people around me if they got game on how to get benefits or ways to get money at something, I need them to share that with me. That's how I know you're a white ally. You tell me what your folks are saying when I ain't around. You share information with me. You share constructive information with me. Let me make that very clear. You share, because this is what happens with a lot of black people. A lot of black people lower the bar for their quote-unquote white friends and white people that they know. If a white person just talks to you and knows, and you have 3 favorite hip-hop songs in common, that's all you need for them to be cool. And I'm not speaking to anyone. I'm just speaking in general to a lot. I'm speaking to 85% of black people. 85% of black people. All it takes is a white person to know a few surface level parts of our culture for them to feel welcome, or they want white people to acknowledge what we've gone through, and that's enough. No, not for me. Now, if you're just an associate and a white person that I'm having business with, you do you, I do me. I don't need shit from you. I really don't. If you're just a business and you know, we have some kind of business common business interest that we meet up on, I don't need you to acknowledge shit. Just don't fucking price gouge me when we do business together. If it's business, my only requirement is that you charge a fair price and you put in honest work. That's my only requirement of white people I do business with. Charge a fair price and do honest, good work. But if it's a white person, I say, okay, I'm gonna, somewhat have some kind of a working like friendship with, or even I casually kick it with, we talk, and it's not business. If I'm talking to a white person outside of business, I'll know we're cool when you tell me state secrets. You got to tell me state secrets, boy. And I got a couple homeboys like that. I'm not going to say their names on here, though. But I got a couple white boys I know that's like that. I got a Jewish white boy that I'm cool with, and 2 non-Jewish white boys. That them motherfuckers, if I ask them a question, they will tell me the state secrets. I had one white boy I know. It's a new movie coming out. It's some new movie coming out real soon. It may come out this summer with Sanaa Lathan. He was filming it like last year. He told me, man, this movie's some bullshit, because they're going to it's some straight up feminist black woman magic bullshit. And then this particular white boy told me that there's this, when it comes to getting, because he does editing on films in Hollywood. He's in Hollywood. And he's edited some of your biggest films you've ever seen in Hollywood. Again, I ain't gonna say his name because I get a lot more people that view me than my channel reflects. Because I be saying shit on here, and that shit be kind of getting around. So I'm never gonna say this white dude's name, because I want to keep the plug. You dig? But he was like, yeah, when we get scripts, He said, we'll get scripts without that LGBTQ stuff all the time. But there's a board that basically approves the scripts. And by the time it goes to that board, they done wrote in fictional LGBTQ characters and or agenda. And if you want your movie greenlit, they have to approve every character in there. And they'll write in characters if you didn't have it in the movie in order for them to greenlight the movie. So them the kind of white folks I know. And in my opinion, if you ain't willing to tell me the state secrets, then, you just somebody else. You dig what I'm saying? So, also knock on the. That was you to order the flag? Salute to you, brother. Yes, sir. What's up, Ben Frank? So yeah, if they giving them state secrets, then yeah, we cool. I got another white boy, I'm not gonna say his name. He the one that told me about the Lunada Bay Boys. That's a white surfer gang in Palos Verdes that's had like 80 years of terrorism here in LA and all the different white surfer gangs. That white dude is one that told me about the Hells Angels in Ventura County and how the Hells Angels would be the one. Matter of fact, I know a white police officer, former police officer, I should say. He's retired. That told me about the Hells Angels and how even the LAPD, when they're off duty and they're on their bikes and they go through Ventura County and Santa Barbara County, they got to check in with the Hells Angels. So I know white folks that give up state secrets. But why am I saying all this? Even with that being said, black people, we got to really take a close look at our relationship with the dominant society. Now, I'm not a total separatist because at the end of the day, we built this country. And at the same time, when you need certain levels of information, certain levels of access to wealth and capital, you're going to have to intersect with white society. That's just what it is. If you put this, if you're doing anything constructive. You know what I mean? And I don't mind dealing with them. I know how they operate. Let me tell you something about white folks, black people. We really be taking this shit personal, thinking that, and I'm like, yeah, when I say we, I'm not talking about just the people in the chat room. I'm just talking about, quote unquote, for those of you who follow me regularly, anytime I say we, I'm speaking of the 85%. DwannBrown is in the 1%. But I'm speaking to the 85%. The 85% can't go without their validation. It needs some kind of white acknowledgement. And when you're in that pool, you're constantly setting yourself up for disappointment because they know that. And we be taking this shit serious. I mean, like, I say serious. We should take it serious. We be taking it personal. Like the issue is just with us. Look, man, this is how they treat each other. Man, look. Do y'all understand that white society, we don't really understand how white supremacy got beat into these people. The monarchies, the people running the governments. Just look up the Salem witch trials. When you go back to the Salem witch trials of the 1690s, they weren't just, all right, man, have a good one. They weren't just burning white women for being witches. They were burning white women for having sex with black men. And from learning, because witchcraft, white folks, where were these white folks learning the witchcraft from? They were learning it from the indigenous people who were here. White people didn't create no fucking witchcraft. You ask some that were learning it from the indigenous people here. When they came to the Americas, all those white women, because they had to import white women, and you can find this in the book Birth of a White Nation by Dr. Jacqueline Badalora. This is where you can find some of this information I'm telling you. It's a book called Birth of a White Nation. When them white women were coming over here, they was marrying black men and native, negroids. They had to burn them bitches to stop that. You gotta look up Bacon's Rebellion. In Bacon's Rebellion, black and white were together in fighting taxation without representation. And it was Bacon's Rebellion that started the need for white supremacy in this country. Then you can go back and look at the populist movement of the 1890s. In the 1890s, the newer immigrant white people were teaming up with black people, creating the Populist Party that basically was more powerful, had gotten more powerful than the Moose and Bull Party almost ever got. You know what I mean? They were giving the Republicans a real challenge, the Populist Party. Because the Republicans turned its back on black people in the Southern Compromise. What did they do? They offer white people gifts, and they also flat out beat white people's asses. Every time white society aligned with black society in any way, shape, or form, those white people got lynched, murdered, raped. The same way they treat us, they treat other white people who align with black society. We have to understand the history of the people that are trying their best to oppress us, and understand how they treat one another. They didn't just start coming together on some kumbaya, you're white, I'm white, let's be brothers. No. They were on some, I'm Irish, you're German, fuck you. They were on some, I'm Anglo-Saxon, you're a Frank, fuck you. You're a Visigoth, I'm a Vandal, fuck you. That's where they come from. And they still do that. You let white folks talk, you go around them. Look, see, I'm DwannBrown, man. Shit, I'm a LA nigga. I be at all the goddamn parties. Well, not no more. I used to be at all the parties. Well, I still do be at the parties now. I still be at the parties sometimes. But when I used to be at the parties, I remember there was this party I used to go to every year at UCLA. It was one of the fundraiser parties. And this fundraiser at UCLA, I had a few friends that played for the UCLA basketball team, so I just would roll with them back in the day. And UCLA always had a major fundraiser before the season and after the season. After the season was more of a banquet for the players. But there was always a major fundraiser before the season. And they would have it at these snazzy hotels. One year they had it in the Palisades at some spot overlooking the water. And when you're charismatic like I am, and the drinks get to flowing, people get a little bit loose and say more than they probably should say around you. And let me say I'm the beneficiary of being at a few of these white wine and cheese parties. And look, on top of that shit, y'all follow my Instagram, y'all see how much me and my wife be at wine country? If you follow my IG, me and my wife is in wine country every 2-3 months, getting that wine, cracking, rubbing elbows with the honkies, you dig? They tell you, you get to see how they act when the wine gets to flowing. White people know to bow down when, like, the people who from the non-Nordic tribes, the non-Nordic whites know to bow down to the Nordic whites. When a Nordic white walks in the room, the non-Nordic whites sort of stand up and get in their place. The Catholic Irish know that they're second and third down the rung behind the Anglo-Saxon Protestant. The Italian white people know that they barely made it. Trust me, when you at these wine and cheese parties like I be at, and you know how to just look and observe at a party, these white people hate each other. White people do not get along with one another. Let me say that again. White society does not get along with itself at all. Oh, and don't let an Armenian come in our room. These honorary whites like Armenians and Asians. Man, I wish. See, if I was on my computer, I would look up this article. If somebody can look it up, there was an article written in the LA Times around 2016. And it was an article talking about how it was written by an Asian woman, talking about how her white husband doesn't care about their mixed child dealing with racism. See, here in LA, in the Palos Verdes area, Palos Verdes has been taken over by Asians. A lot of the reason why so many Asians are coming to America, because a lot of places where white people used to populate, they no longer have the numbers to repopulate. So here in LA, Irvine, California, which was a white sundown town, black people were not allowed to move to Irvine, California until 1983. I was born in 1981. So I was 2 years old when black people were allowed to move to Irvine, California. Irvine is now majority Asian. It was like 2% Asian back then, they said, like in 1983. Now it's majority Asian. Orange County is getting Asianed out like a motherfucker. And a lot of these white men are marrying Asian women, like crazy, at crazy numbers. There was an LA Times article written by an Asian woman talking about how, like, basically her white husband don't give a fuck that the Asian child gets bullied at school because he's Asian, half Asian. And how, like, them half Asian kids be getting their ass whooped at these white schools. White society's mean. They mean. And I appreciate the Cash App, Blake. Much love to you. Appreciate the Cash App. If y'all want to Cash App me, $DwannBrown. Miles put the Cash App up in the chat room just in case these people want to Cash App me. I appreciate the Cash App. But we got to understand that these people fight each other every day, tooth and nail, inch by inch. I used to do mortgage, man. Shit, you want to see some white people fight each other? God damn. You want a good movie to show you how white folks treat each other is The Boiler Room. Business is war. You see how petty and undermining they watch The Boiler Room. You want to see how they act with one another when we're not around? Watch The Boiler Room. Thank you, C. Vesey. They're extremely petty. Key Alexandria said they are the original backdoors. Shut. See, see. This why I don't be looking at the chat room. Y'all be saying some funny shit. You niggas are stupid. Hey, press the number 1 if you would come to a show. If I did a show in Dallas, would y'all come? Press the number 1 if y'all come to a show in Dallas. And press the number 2 if you come to my show here in LA at the Hidden History Museum. I'm throwing with Tariq. You see, hey man, this comedy show gonna be funny as fuck. See, a lot of you niggas don't know me as a comic. As a comic, I'm funny than a motherfucker, but I'm a Gemini. I got multiple personalities. I could be introspective and deep and spiritual, but I can also be an ignorant ass fool on stage. So hey, back to what we talking about. 5 Rings, you coming? Torrance, okay, cool. Hey, just make sure if y'all see me, come up and say hi. My wife has told me I can sometimes have an unwelcoming facial expression. When I'm not smiling, my wife has told me plenty of times I be looking like, nigga, get away from me. So I'm not really like that. I just may have that. Probably because I just don't like dealing with, I really don't like dealing with people. I'm a Gemini. I really don't. I really don't like, yeah, she's probably right. I don't like dealing with people. But I'm telling you niggas, if you niggas see me, say what's up. Yeah, I really don't like dealing with people, but yeah. Yeah, Herc, it was good seeing you, brother, at my show. Gangs of New York, good one, Jay Jones. That's another good movie. What's up, DJ Slatterbite? Yeah. So, we got to understand that, let's go back to anthropology, okay? All right, have a good one, brother. The proper way to see things when dealing with opposing societies, let's break this down from an anthropological point of view. We all have, there's societies, dominant and subdominant. There's the greater society, and in this instance, the greater society is the United States of America, okay? There's the dominant society. The dominant society is white, Anglo-Saxon, Protestant, male, and the rule that it sets. That's the dominant society. That's the dominant culture. The subcultures are the Italians over here, the Latinos over there, the blacks over here. The thing about American society, what makes American society different than most societies throughout the world in history, what makes us unique is the subculture, is the culture. Let me say that again. And I used to have these discussions in anthropology class 20 years ago. I used to have these discussions with white professors back in my teens and 20s. I'm not new to this shit, y'all. I'm new to the internet, but I've been doing this. I've studied at the universities what I'm talking about, okay? I've studied this. I've had lectures and debates with professors. I used to debate my professors. But this one here wasn't a debate. We talked about this in class one time in cultural anthropology. What makes American society unique is although Black culture is a subculture within American culture. Black culture is American culture. I heard a fucking white professor tell me that. Motherfucker, Cal State Northridge, 2003. We had this talk, nigga. Manzanita Hall. They know this, people. They know this. That's what makes America unique. In most cultures, the dominant culture sets the culture, not the subcultures. But back to what we're talking about from a cultural perspective. In America, black culture is a sub, and we're subcultures. And whatever the dominant culture is going to have effect on the cultures beneath it. So where I'm going with this, and I'm going to circle back. Where I'm going with this is this. I'm going to the other. I've been talking to the positive. Now let's talk about the negative. Because we always have to acknowledge the light and the dark, the positive and the negative. That's true balance. All these niggas talking about positive, 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 that's bullshit. Negative is just as godly as the positive. That's my spiritual philosophy. But integrating that into what we're talking about, when I look at the downside of black society, or what we call our bad behavior, what we call the niggas, what we call the things that we do wrong, the downside is we're a subculture in a dominant culture. We live in a violent, dominant culture. An extremely violent, dominant culture. America is an extremely violent culture. This country was taken by the gun. It's controlled by the gun from day one through now. There are more than what? They say what? There are more than what? There are a few billion guns in America with only a couple 300 million people, 400 million people, but 5 billion guns, something like that. This is an extremely violent society. This society conducts itself through violence. This society treats itself, each other, violently when we're not around. So when you live in a violent society, that's going to affect the subcultures within the dominant culture. If the dominant culture is violent, if the dominant culture is petty, if the dominant culture is full of shit, if the dominant culture is manipulative, if the dominant culture is backbiting and backstabbing and undermining, guess what? That behavior is going to trickle down into the subdominant societies. This is social science. See, the difference between me is I'm going to connect all this shit back to the sciences. Yes, I read cards. Yes, I'm extremely spiritual. But the spiritual and the science are one. They're not separate. If somebody's giving you the spiritual, but they can't connect it to the science, they full of shit. If somebody giving you the science, but they can't connect it to the spiritual, they full of shit. Or they just know half the story. It's all the same. And we somewhere in the middle. You got your science on the left, on the right, your spiritual on the left, and you in the motherfucking middle. You the middle point. You the black dot. You X. It's our job to synthesize the science with the spiritual and apply that science to life. That's our jobs. You get a lot of these niggas that get spiritual, and they get so goddamn spiritual, they shitty human beings and don't build nothing. And you're not nice to people. You mean to people. You're an asshole. Because you so goddamn Christian or whatever, you forgot to be a good human being. And then you get people who are so human, they forget that they have a higher self that can help them get through the bullshit. You feel me? So we got to tie this shit in. back to what we were talking about, cultures and societies. That's why I'm forgiving of sorry ass niggas. Now I don't fuck with you sorry ass niggas. If you the kind of nigga that got 4 baby mamas and you don't take care of your kids, I don't fuck with you. If you the kind of nigga, it's 2023, and you still think being a gangster is cool, I don't fuck with you. If you a woman that manipulates men and play, you got 2 different baby daddies and you play them against one another and you raise one kid better than the other because you hate that person's daddy, I don't fuck with you. But I understand your poison, and I understand your pain, and I understand why you act that way. Why? Because when Neely Fuller talks about victims of white supremacy, this is what he's coming from a scientific point of view. The reason why Neely Fuller can scientifically say we're victims of white supremacy is because scientifically, again, this isn't Dwan speaking. If you want to verify what I'm saying, pull up any anthropological journal. I'm going to point you in a direction. I can't point you to any one in particular, but I can point you into where you can look me up and find out if I'm bullshitting you or not. If you search anything in anthropology dealing with dominant and subdominant cultures, how dominant cultures affect subdominant cultures, or how dominant societies affect non-dominant societies. Look it up on YouTube, look it up on Google. Just don't listen to me if you think I'm bullshitting. Look me up. I'm tying this shit into science, y'all. Because they understand this, we don't. I figured that shit out when I was 21. I'll never forget when I figured that shit out. I was in my last year at Santa Monica College. I spent 4 years in junior college, 2.5 years in 4-year college. It took me 6.5 years to graduate college because I was partying like a motherfucker, nigga. I worked hard and I partied hard. I slept 4 hours a night in college. Nigga, in college, I'm up, waking up. Niggas, I'm up at 6 in the morning. My first class at Santa Monica College is 7 a.m. My last class is at 10. I leave. Basketball, nigga, I'm going to the club every night until 3 in the morning, back up at 6 in the morning. That was my college life. So it took me 6.5 years to graduate. But when I was at Santa Monica College, I'll never forget when I got the epiphany. It was 2002. The Lakers were in the finals against the New Jersey Nets, Jason Kidd, Kenyon Martin, Kerry Kittles, Shaq, Kobe, Samaki Walker, a power forward. Ron Harper's last year before retirement. Second to last. Well, he retired by then. Derek Fisher. That year. Lakers got a game against the New Jersey Nets that night. So I'm worried about my Lakers, but I got a final next week in cultural anthropology. No, this was, this is cultural anthropology. I took like 4 different cultural anthropology classes. This is cultural anthropology 201. This is a 200 level class. And in that class, part of my finals, we were talking about cultures and how cultures effects on people and societies. And they were saying in the black culture, like we were talking about how like black people speak and how different cultures speak to one another. That's actually what we were talking about, how cultures speak. And my professor was like in black society, black people speak with an exaggerated tone. Like a black person to say, I walked 10 miles uphill to get to work. And mind you, I have a white professor. Her name was Miss Joan, I think her name was Joan Greer. That was her name, Joan Greer. She wrote a book called Danger, Duty, and Disillusion. You could look it up. Her name was Joan Greer. And if you want to find out who the fuck my professor was, she wrote a book, and it's on Amazon, and it's a great book on the LAPD and murder rates and shit like that. It's a book called Danger, Duty, and Disillusion by Joan Greer. She was my college professor. So She said black society speaks in a descriptive tone, and it exaggerates, and white society is more direct in a way, more like to the point, like with what they're saying. They're literal. Wait down to the point. She said white society is literal. Right? White society is going to say things in a literal form. Black society is going to speak in a figurative form. And we're going to say in the way we speak, white society can easily deem it as a lie because no, you didn't walk 10 miles, Leroy. Basically, you walked 3 blocks. But basically, the reason why a black person would say we walked 10 miles is because we're describing the type of journey we took. And I'm getting this shit broken down from a white woman. Again, if you think I'm bullshitting, look up Joan Greer. It's a book called Danger, Duty, and Disillusion. That was her book. She wrote it. She was my college professor at Santa Monica College. Great college experience with her class. I learned a lot. But it hit when Miss Greer is teaching me this, it hit me. Again, this is the week before the final. Because I'm going to have to, she was kind of just reviewing some stuff. But it hit me like a ton of bricks. They really know who we are. For real. We don't. And the reason why, Joan Barker, Thank you, Jay Jones, Joan Barker. I said Joan Greer. Joan Greer, I said Joan Greer. Joan Barker. Joan Barker. She's a white woman with long silver hair. Joan Barker. Her. Joan Barker. I said Joan Greer. Joan Barker. That was my college professor. See, one thing about me, if one of these internet niggas ever decide to look me up, they ain't gonna find no cap. I ain't got no reason to front, cause I done lived this shit. I'm a king of clubs. I mean, I speak my truth, and my truth is my experience. And what I learned in college is secondary to my experience in life. But in that course, you know what else I learned in that class? I learned that the police know which police officers are shooting and killing people. In that book that I recommend, Danger, Duty, and Disillusion, she talks about how like less than 10% of police officers ever actually fired their weapon. And out of the police officers who fired the weapon, it's like somewhere like 5 or less than 10% of that 10% fired their weapon more than once. So basically, in conclusion, in class, we were like, well, the police officers know exactly which ones are shooting, using their guns. They know exactly which officers are being abusive. It's the same ones over and over and over again. If you see a particular station with high abuse marks, it's usually the same cluster of cops that all of those have records on. The majority of cops are clean. When I say clean, they don't have any records of abuse. They don't get many calls or reports. And this isn't me capping for cops. Again, read the book. I don't believe in over here. I'm not gonna play with you niggas' emotions. There's niggas out here that play with y'all emotions and try to get y'all revved up. I ain't doing that shit. I'm just gonna speak the truth the way I see it, and I'm not gonna say I know everything, but for the little bit of research I do know that it's literally the same cops. It's the same cops that's doing the shooting. It's the same cops whooping ass. It's like a handful of cops in every station. The majority of the station is just kind of like going. The majority of the station is going along to get along. But let me tell you how the police works, and let me tell you where this comes from. This comes from one of my uncles, Sam. He's in his mid 80s now, Sam. You know, matter of fact, I'm glad he just came to my mind. I got to call Sam. I got to call him because he's getting up there in age. He's in his mid 80s, but he's one of my cousins. And he's one of the first LAPD officers. He started working at LAPD in 1966. He was one of the officers brought in when after the Watts riots. When they finally started bringing in black officers, it was because of the Watts riots. And he was that first class of black officers brought in after the Watts riots. Sam was one of those officers that didn't go along to get along. And it was something that happened where an officer was basically planting drugs. And when the trial came, my cousin he told the truth. And so he went on a call. He said this was in 1977. He went on a call. And in 1977, he felt, his spirit said, don't go in that house. He said he didn't go in the house and he stayed out at his car. Everyone was running into the house. He didn't go in. Now, I'm sorry, not a house, an apartment building. He said it was an apartment building in the jungles. And everyone was running into the apartment building, and he didn't go. He said he found out later that, he said all other officers were looking at him funny, looking at him crazy. He found out later that from a white cop, that white cop told him, we were supposed to shoot you when you ran in that building. And say the suspect did it. But you didn't go in the building. And what ended up happening with my cousin Sam, the next 10 years, he wasn't able to promote up, transfer. They made him do patrol for his full 20 years. And he did his full 20 and retired in 1987 from the LAPD. Let me tell you another story. This is how the police departments keep one another in check. And this is for all of you out there. And I do believe we should get into law enforcement. If you in your spirit, you want to get into law enforcement, I say go right ahead. I'm not going to tell you not to. But let me give you a warning. Being a police officer, they get called to very dangerous situations. And if you're pegged one that bucks the system, bucks the trend, and you speak out and you speak against, when you're in the situation and you call for backup, it's a real good chance your backup won't come. Now you out here in a situation. So now you got you want to get home to your wife and kids too. So now you got a situation. Do I take an L for the greater good, or do I get home safely to my wife? So these are the situations the good cops are in, quote unquote. And from that, I say draw your own conclusion. I ain't gonna tell you what to think. I'm just offering you a perspective because I know a lot of police officers. And from there, I say draw your own conclusion. And the last thing I want is for you niggas to be fucking arguing. That's nothing that we got to get out of black society. Niggas arguing all the goddamn time. If you feel one way and the next person feel another way, fine. Move the fuck on and get back to building. Stop arguing all the goddamn time, niggas. Stop that bitch ass shit. I'm cool with niggas who feel it different. If you the kind of nigga that be like, fuck all cops, you know what I'm be like, nigga, you right, cool. Now let's get back to building. If you want to kind of be that's like back the badge, I'm be like, you sound crazy than a motherfucker. They corrupt in a bitch, but if you about empowering black people, let's talk. I don't agree with neither one of you niggas. I'm in the middle. I see both sides of it. We need police officers. We also need us to join. But you just let you know you about to join some shit that you're gonna have to make some tough decisions. Are you just know that going in. If you're gonna stand with us, you know what I mean? When it's time for you to get back up on a call, your boys may not be there with you. So now I'm just letting you know what you're getting yourself into if you're a young person listening to me and ain't thinking about being a cop. If that doesn't bother you, then shit, nigga, go right the fuck ahead. You know what I mean? So, Quan said, like, arguing over sports. Hey, Quan, can you please take 2 seats? I don't need your shit right now, Quan. You supposed to be a mod. You supposed to be an example in the chat room. Chill, all right? Don't be petty like Ebony. Don't be petty. Don't be petty, all right? Chill. Chill, Quan. Chill. But what's up, G Mars? El Negro Hotel. Thank y'all again for joining. Thank y'all for joining. But that's just what it is. And so back to what we're talking about. Dominant cultures affect subdominant cultures. And so even though those of us in here may be more refined than other people within black society, we got to understand how they were poisoned. They were poisoned scientifically, and we're all poisoned on some level. We're just less poisoned than the ratchets. The ratchets got a little bit more of the poisoning than we did. You know what I mean? We still got that poison in our mind because it was incepted into our mind. 0 to 8. If you went to American schools, if you watched G.I. Joe growing up as a kid and Barbie, if you played with Barbie dolls, and if you watch Heathcliff and Bugs Bunny cartoons and watch Disney movies, you're incepted with the bullshit. If you want to understand deeper what I'm talking about, how this works, watch the movie Inception. I encourage everybody in here to watch it. It's a long movie, but watch Inception 15 times. Matter of fact, watch Inception on mushrooms. Matter of fact, I think that's what I'm going to do. The next time I go on a shroom trip, which you niggas are lucky I'm talking to y'all tonight, because it was my plan to do a mushroom trip tonight. That was actually my original plans for tonight, was to go on a shroom trip and go on a journey and be like, fuck y'all. But I didn't do it. I gave a dear friend my mushroom gummies, and she got my goddamn gummies, and I was supposed to get some new gummies, and I didn't get them. God damn it. I got a mushroom candy bar in the refrigerator, and I got some mushrooms, but I want them gummies. Them mushroom gummies hit, boy. Woo, shit. But I think next time I do a shroom trip, I'm gonna watch Inception again on shrooms. But you ain't gotta watch them on shrooms. Just watch Inception. When ideas get suggested to your mind, if see, this is how we learn as humans. Again, this is science. Let's go back to science, all right? And how the mind works. This is mind science, all right? Look me up. If you think I'm bullshitting, look me up. I'm gonna let a white person tell me. There's a lot of white people who are gonna verify what I'm saying. All right? For you coons out there that want to hear a white person say it. We learn best through suggestion. Most of our learned behavior isn't directly taught to us. It's suggested to us. Because when things are suggested and you agree to the suggestion, you're going to think that you came up with the idea. Example. Here's an example. When it comes to, let me tell you like something like sports. Let's use sports as an example. And Quan, I don't want to hear you say shit. I'm talking about sports. Chill, Quan, all right? when it comes to, like, say, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, there are people who don't watch basketball, or they may watch a game or two in the finals, but they'll tell you Michael Jordan's the greatest player. How can they be so sure Michael Jordan's the greatest player? We're in 2023. There are people in their 30s who never even saw Michael Jordan play, who will tell you Michael Jordan's the greatest player ever. Why is that? It's because when you're constantly putting images of Michael Jordan up and his shoes, it's being suggested to you that this is an important guy. So now, when I now have these interviews and I let Charles Barkley and Shaq tell you that Michael Jordan was the greatest ever, and that keeps getting thrown at you, and you have all these commercials telling you this man hasn't played basketball in 20 years, but you see his face everywhere. You have people who never saw him play and really can't give two licks about basketball, but they'll tell you, and they're extremely convinced that Michael Jordan's the greatest player ever. Well, they've drawn that conclusion because that idea has been suggested to them through constant repetition, and it was accepted into their mind. And for the people who did see him play, like me at my age, when I was 8 years old, he had this video that came out called "Come Fly With Me." And they weren't doing videos of NBA players. Like, that was some new shit. Before that "Come Fly With Me" video, you only knew basketball players from what you saw in the game. You didn't know anything about them off the court before that video. They created it an illusion, and they incepted it into the mind of people, into the people. And then when the people, after a while of that suggestion, they drew their own conclusion that Michael Jordan's the greatest, and you've been saying this for 30 years now, you forgot the fact that this was incepted in your mind. That's how the shit works. That's how the brain works. So supremacy is incepted into their minds. Inferiority is incepted into our minds in one process, in one TV commercial, in one cartoon. The white male is always the problem solver. The black kid is always a screw-up. Saved by the Bell. Let's go back to Saved by the Bell. Remember, Zach Morris was the cool guy. He had his head on straight. He was the reasonable one. Even though he was a teenager and he had to have his fun, he was a little bit immature, but he always solved the problem. Lisa was cool, but Lisa was a ditz. The one black person on Saved by the Bell, Lisa, she was the ditz. So it's like when you do get, the black person is always the one that's coming up short. So it is suggested into your minds at a young age that you're less than, that you're second in command. And while the same program, television programming, that same program is telling the white male that you're the leader, you're the boss. Inception. Oh, I heard about that. What's up, Emmanuel? I heard about that Nike Jordan movie. I saw that Nike Jordan movie. That shit looks stupid. I'm not gonna watch that shit. But inception is real, and it informs how we live in our society. Why am I saying all this? It's been accepted in our minds of a people that we need their approval, and this goes back to the original title of the program. It's been accepted in our mind that we need their validation, we need their approval. It's been accepted in our mind that we're less than, that we're not right unless we're approved by white. That's how the inception has worked for us as a culture. And they understand this. That they know that they train us to feel that we're less than. All right? The remedy to this, because again, you know me, I like throwing out solutions. The remedy to this is to disconnect. And how do you disconnect? I'm glad you asked. You disconnect from needing their approval by approving yourself. One thing we have to know, society has accepted into all of our minds, white, black, Mexican, Asian, whatever. If you grew up in America, society has accepted into your mind that all approval comes from outside. And again, they do through suggestion. Your teacher gives you a grade. Your coach tells you if you made the team or not, or how many minutes you're going to play. You need a manager, someone else to hire you for that job. You're trained through repetition that all of you need somebody else's decision to get accepted to that high school or that college or that frat. When society behaves in a way that, you need your credit approved by some organization if you're going to buy this car, if you're going to get this car or this house. They train you through pattern and behavior that all approval and validation comes from outside of you, it comes from people. And they cap it off with religion. God's looking at you. Jesus is going to beat your ass if you don't listen. They be like, this nigga Jesus is going to come off the top rope and lay the smack down on your monkey ass if you don't fuck with him. You better pay your tithes, bitch. And if you have any bad thoughts that are against Jesus, Jesus is going to come down like Razor Ramon and backslap your bitch ass. Everything in our society teaches us that all validation and all punishment and all these things come from outside of us. The solution is to go within and approve of yourself. Create your boundaries and know that you're worthy and your greatness personified. And when you truly understand that within, you don't need anyone else's validation, let alone some fucking Oscars. Fuck them. To me, the way I see it, the Oscars shows how little their awards mean. If you're not willing to give Angela Bassett an award with the great performances she's put off over her career, that tells me you don't validate your own awards. You care more about, and like I started the show saying that, I understand why you would take a look out for self first. But you looking out for self first means, okay, this is a self first event. It's not about the art. It's not about the beauty of the art. It's not about the love being put into the roles these women and men are putting into. It's about you circle jerking yourself. Okay, cool, fine. That's your award. So as a black person, if this whole award system is about you, a big old white circle jerk, and you're willing to break Angela Bassett's heart like that, then I just can't give you any energy. You don't mean anything to me because you don't respect yourself. Well, at the same time, like I said, again, y'all know I don't fuck with the Oscars. I don't care about the Oscars. I don't care about that Black Panther movie, none of that shit. But I did see Angela Bassett's heartbreak and that with that camera on her when she didn't win the award. And as a man, that hurt me. That hurt. I don't know how y'all feel, but that hurt me. It did. Again, it's not about the Oscars. It's not about the Wakanda movie or the award itself. But it was the sight of a black woman who had her heart set on something, who gave an effort worthy of what she had her heart set on. That's what hurt to me. If you feel differently, you feel differently. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm just gonna tell you how I felt. And to see her heart drop like that, knowing she gave a performance worthy of the thing that she desired, that hurt. And it's not about Wakanda. For me, it's not about the Oscars. It's about seeing someone who, a black woman, a woman who is excellent, and she plays her role with grace and respect and honor. And she had her heart set. And I don't want to see that no more. I'm tired of seeing that. So for me, you know, it's still fuck the Oscars. It's still, I don't give a fuck about a Wakanda movie either. But it is about us as black people as we move forward. We got to detach ourselves from emotionally from any approval of theirs. Now, if they give you a Grammy, if they give you an Oscar or a Golden Globe or an Emmy, then take it. I'm not saying, you know, if you're, you know, I have celebrities that listen to me. If I don't want, for those celebs who do listen to me, I don't want you to feel guilty for taking the award. If they honor you, take the award. Because it means something to your career. That's the career path you've chosen. So if that's the career path you've chosen and they're willing to honor you, take the award. I'm fine with that. You know, and if you're the kind of person that you're against it, then you're against it. Again, just don't argue with me. Get the fuck out of my channel. Shit. Go say that shit on your goddamn channel. So accept that they're willing to give it to you, but don't put your heart in. These people don't give a fuck about you because they don't honor their own award show enough. That motherfucker with that loud ass muffler is getting ready to take off. Y'all know my neighbor with that loud ass muffler? I see that nigga getting ready. He must be getting ready to go to work. It's about to get real loud. He's gonna have to take off real fast. Let us all know he got this muffler. Watch. Oh no, he didn't go that loud today. Oh no, there it is. Y'all hear that? He didn't go as loud. Usually that dumb nigga be peeling off and shit. He didn't go as loud as he usually do tonight. Anyway. I still got love for Angela. But the way I see that is the Oscar awards don't have enough respect for itself to honor somebody like Angela Bassett. Let's think about that for a second. The Oscar awards doesn't have enough self-respect and honor. They'd rather play these little petty racial games. They don't have the self-respect and honor to award someone that great at what she does. What's up, Jay Jimerson? I know if I do that show in Dallas, you gonna be there. So yeah, from my point of view, the remedy what's up, Andy 17? So for me, the remedy is just to, what's up, B Polly? The remedy to me is just to divest yourself emotionally from anything that any awards or any of their approval on any level. Not just the Grammys, not just the award shows. I mean, on the day-to-day level. How often do you see a black person, you know, when a white person says something to them, they got the biggest ass smile on their face. Niggas get to smiling more than Magic Johnson when a white person says something to them. Why give people that when they don't do you right? When you have your own family members who will be there for you in the time of need, you don't give them that because they had to borrow $5 6 months ago. So that's what I want to say to y'all. Divest yourself emotionally from any awards that they have. If they're willing to honor you, then graciously accept the reward if you're willing to go. But if you don't get it, just understand that the game wasn't made for you anyway. Just, create your own. All right? And remember this, there are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. BreakthroughCards.com. I'm out.